Let us not dawdle, for there are grudges to settle, and new entries in the Dammer's Cron to right!
Howdy howdy, Sidevil here, and welcome to an online ladder battle between the Dowie and the Dark Elves. So, for this match, I've brought, I'll say, my most current Dark Elf build. For my leadership, I do have a Rune Lord with just the Master Rune of Wrath and Rune. I have one Runesmith, real cheap at 680 gold with the Rune of Wrath and Rune, and the other one is a little more expensive at 800 gold with the Rune of Wrath and Rune and the Rune of Groth One Eye for that +8 leadership. For the rest of my build, I've got some good contingent of Longbeards. I do believe I have 5 Longbeards for my front line. I have 4 Bolt Throwers, I think each with a chevron, and for sort of my chaff extra, I do have 3 miners, or 4 miners, yeah, and we have 2 thunders and 2 iron drakes, just the regular flamethrowers. Now I was worried about Vanguard shenanigans, so I brought 2 miners back here because I thought maybe there'd be horses back here. I sort of deployed. You know, we got plenty of room to flank me on this side, but I did deploy to give myself room right here. And I thought if I have some with the Vanguard back here, I'm going to get some horses and catch them off guard. But unfortunately, there was harpies up there. So I'm sending back first of all, I'm just sending back my troops right away. I shouldn't want to shoot those harpies out of the sky. So for his army, he has actually a really nice army. Very, very strong player I'm playing against here. He has Bleak Swords up front. I believe 5 units of Bleak Swords. Yep. And they have a silver shield. He has, for himself, he has 3 Reaper Bolt Throwers. And these are very good at sniping other artillery. He has 2 groups of Harganeth Executioners way in the back where I can't get to them. And he has 3 groups of Dark Shards with shields. Obviously, they are armor piercing, very strong unit. And he has 1 unit of Witch Elves with 1 chevron. And for his leadership, he has Malekith on a chariot. And for Malekith, he has Stand Your Ground for the 27 melee defense and 16 leadership. Soul Stealer to heal himself. Power of Darkness to increase his power reserves and power recharge rate. And he has Spiteful Conjuration for that -15 armor every time he casts. And of course, he has Murderous Prowess and Immune Psychology and lots of good stuff, physical resistance. So, right off the get-go, I tried to go get these guys. I'm like, where the hell did these harpies go? And I'm looking around, no harpies, no harpies. Well, he brings them up here. It's right over the top here. And he's actually going to hide them right. You can't even make a line up here. He's going to hide them right up here. So we're press play. I'm looking for these harpies. I couldn't find them. I never did see them. I didn't know where they went. I was like, where the hell did they go? Because I'm trying to get him with gun him down. He's going to go down this way, and then he'll actually bring them back up above this rock. So an interesting place to use for a line of sight, which is, I couldn't shoot him. Maybe I could shoot him. I don't know. Anyways, so he's coming. He's sort of just going to come down to this side with Malekith and start bringing a kind of a long, easy flank. And, I'm starting with counter battery against his Reaper Bolt Thrower because really, I took a shot at his Bleak Swords. What I want is I do want to get some shots against those Harganeth Executioners. I should have just been taking shots at the Witch Elves and his infantry. The Bolt Throwers are not as... counter battering the Bolt Throwers, for me, is not as big a deal as just really taking out the Dark Shards and taking out the Harganeth Executioners. So I do have my leadership up front. What I want to do is get a Master Rune of Wrath and Rune and a Rune of Wrath and Rune on those Harganeth Executioners as quick as I can. So I don't see him coming in here. I mean, I do have 1 Bolt Thrower focused on Malekith, but he's going to come through here and get to my miners. And I'm still looking for these damn harpies. I don't know, where are they? I couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to send these guys over here, and I'm going to shoot at Malekith. Now, Malekith does pull through. He's going to try and get my Reaper Bolt Thrower. I get some shots and then bang. Hit him with the Rune of Wrath and Rune. Then I hit him with the Master Rune of Wrath and Rune. He's at 7 speed. Now I sort of spring the trap. Send in everybody. And I'm shooting on him. I'm sending all my troops to try and get Malekith. And you can see we're just hammering him. He's going down health really, really fast. His leadership's down to -3, and he's really having us like I thought, oh my god, we're gonna catch him. This is gonna be it. And he's wavering, winded, struggling. I just couldn't put quite enough damage on him. He is gonna rout here. There he goes. He routs, but he has a lot of health, and he's gonna just pull away, and I can't keep up with him because that's just the way it is. So the slow flank continues on this side, and Malekith is off to this side. So I'm gonna just bring my troops back here, and I didn't even notice his harpies coming out of nowhere. They get onto the bolt thrower, but we are gonna use our Iron Drakes to roast them. I would say relatively quickly, but I am hitting my own troops too. I mean, I'm gonna lose those troops anyways. I might as well get the fun of roasting something up. And unfortunately, when they take off, I can't hit them again. This is frustrating. I don't kill any more units, even though I get another full shot at them. So, anyways, he's just bringing a really long flank on this side, and we've got Malekith is going back, and he did cast Soul Stealer while he was in there, and we've got sort of a what do I have? Oh, he's going the Power of Darkness on his Reaper Bolt Thrower, which is actually a really good way to gain that spell. Like, this is actually a really clever build for the Dark Elves. So he decides to come around, and this is also a very nice sandwich. So I was going for him this way, and then trying to get my miners on his Witch Elves, and he sandwiches my Longbeards, which is sort of... This is going to take a long time to resolve. Longbeards are very strong in any case. I am trying to bring these Iron Drakes over, but he is going to really focus all of his Dark Shards on them, and you can see they're just going to go to town on him. This is absolutely disastrous for me. I am taking shots at this Harganeth Executioner, and another really beautiful move by him. I went to attack his Bleak Swords. He pulled his Bleak Swords out, and I chased him, and then he pulled Malekith in to hit him. Actually, some really, really nice moves that he pulls off in this game, which are just you can see how it's actually really, really, really smart, but he's slowly pulling my army apart, and you can see he's pulling me this way. I'm gonna send my heroes after these Dark Shards and my Longbeards, and he's pulling my units out this way, pulling my units out this way, and really you can see my front line, despite me not wanting to, is expanding out to here. It's going to be expanding out to here, and now there's these giant gaps in my line, and you can see he's got a whole unit of Bleak Swords and Harganeth Executioners right towards my back line. So he's going after these Iron Drakes. I'm sending my Longbeards. He's getting shot in the back, but my heroes are going to get there. But I mean, these Iron Drakes, if I ever get a chance to shoot, they are really, really good in this matchup. And I mean, you can see we're going to take him from over 4,000 health in one shot. That's really satisfying. 2,800, and they're almost caught. But here come the Harganeth Executioners. They're going to get on the bolt thrower. I'm going to try and take another shot on them. I'm going to do a little bit of damage on them, but really, a lot of this giant. He just opened up this giant corridor here into my troops, and just really, really nice play. But we're actually hitting him back. We're hitting him back hard. We're trying to push him out, and I'm going to chase him down with these Longbeards. We do have these Harpies on the way. This battle is still resolving. It's going to go for a long time, and I've got my heroes out here trying to get these Dark Shards out, and now I'm going to go after these Dark Shards, and I've got my my line keeps expanding like over and over. So now I'm going to have these Harganeth Executioners. They're going to sort of Last Samurai. I'm going to get some shots on them with my Thunders. But of course he's going to try and obviously do his best to get in there and kill those Thunders. But I mean, we can get some good damage on the way in. I mean, this just it's really nice. You just gotta keep pushing them down. But Harganeth Executioners are outstanding, and now they have Murderous Mastery going, so they're going to do some damage. And here comes Malekith kind of coming in from the side. So I am going to try and pull out a little bit here. I'm going to try and shoot. And Malekith has Rune of Wrath and Rune on him. I'm trying to slow him down, and you can get my Bolt Thrower crew on him. So on this side, we have been able to catch up to these Bleak Swords with my Longbeards, and these Bleak Swords, I just sort of want to take them off the field. I got some miners coming down this way, still resolving out here. I've got my heroes going, but he's getting shots with all his troops on my Rune Lord, and he's taking them down really fast. And unfortunately, my Rune Lord routes, and he's going to keep shooting at my Rune Lord until he kills them. I've got my Rune Smith in there doing some damage, and Rune Smith is 680, Dark Shards are 675. There's sort of an even trade. I've got this runesmith. I just want to get out here and push these guys. But you know, during the game, you don't even notice. This is something that good players do. Is like there's nothing left of where my army would normally be. He's just pulled everything out slowly but surely, or he's allowed me to pull myself out of here slowly but surely. I mean, I've got the miners taking out these bleak swords. You know, we've got miners and longbeards here taking out these bleak swords, and these longbeards have lasted forever. I got miners here, and I got one bolt thrower still operational. We're shooting, I think, at these guys over here, and we've got really everything is sort of getting a little bit mucked up, and Malekith is doing a good job just running over stuff. So he's going out and taking out my thunders. I'm going to try and keep shooting at him, but you know, now really I sort of committed to getting these dark shards, so I'm like, you know, screw it. I would rather chase them down than to take all those shots, because he's gonna, like, they're armor piercing. So I hit Rune of Wrath and Rune just to slow him down so I can catch him, but they're armor piercing. He's gonna get me, like one way or the other. So I thought I better chase him. I got Rune of Wrath and Rune on here as well, so that at least I can catch him and at least try and finish them off, so they just can't shoot me to death. So that's kind of the whole idea of just trying to push them off. But this hasn't done me well. I mean, I've got troops all over creation here, and yeah, we chase these dark shards off, or these bleak swords off with our miners, and now our miners have to come all the way back. We've chased these guys off with our miners and longbeards. These guys have to come back. I have a group of bolt throwers that's here, and I got to put them back, and they've managed to get the witch elves here. So really now I'm just completely all over the map with a faction that is the slowest faction in the game, with no cavalry. Like, even these witch elves, what speed are they? 44 speed. They can chase anyone down. Bleak swords, 33 speeds. You know, my fastest troops are sort of 32 speed, I think. Yeah, these guys are speed 20. Oh my god. And Malekith is coming in here. So I thought, well, I'm going to try and chase these guys off and just hope for the best. So Malekith is coming in a charge. I'm trying to get all my troops sort of on him and to push him back so he doesn't get through really good, and we start getting a lot of good damage into him right away. Like, we do have armor piercing with the miners, and he only has 27 melee defense. It's not like he's got lots, but he's able to sort of pull out, and we can't slow him down. So now, I mean, I've got guys here, I've got guys here, and I've got sort of this small group here. But he's just going to be able to cycle me to death at this point. I mean, I'm going to get some shots in. He's got 771 health, 756, 740, you know, 707. But he's doing damage to me, 644, and he's just pushing me off. I mean, I've got some troops there, but just not enough. I'm pushing these guys off. Maybe it's not the best use, but now I decided to bring this runesmith back. Maybe no, I decided I'm going to go after these guys. I'm going to try and pick off one group at a time with my runesmith, take this guy, and hope for the best. Hope that I can hold up with these troops. I do have some guns over here. Malekith is very low health. I just got to get a few shots into him. So we do get some shots into him. Oh, just not enough. And he does have the witch elves here, which are still very strong. Reaper bolt thrower. He does have stand your ground for the melee defense, and sort of just, you know, tooth and nail fighting here, axe and stone. We've got everything we can. He's down to 530 health. Malekith is. He's gotten rid of these miners. He's coming after. I think he's going to come after these miners, or is he going to try and get through? He's got 530. And we get some shots in because he only has 27 melee defense. It's not really big. I just have to get in front of him. But here come the witch elves, and they're immediately going to get to the longbeards. And the longbeards are the one unit that I really wanted to save here because I have just miners. He's down to 466 health. He's coming after the longbeards. Really, really strong play here. Focusing on the longbeard, the one unit that encourages everybody else. And my runesmith is still a miles away. I'm trying to push these guys off. That's 1,200 gold versus my 600. So I'm trying to get over there as quick as I can, because if I can get my runesmith there, I can give some leadership. But there we go. Once the longbeards break, he's down to 262 health. I just need one, you know, now 180. Just 166. 152. And there we go. Oh my god. That's 152 health. This is so ridiculous. And he's now all my guys are routed, and this is pretty easy from here for the Harganeth Executioners, Bleak Swords, and Malekith to chase everyone down. And he does have this Reaper Bolt Thrower. I mean, I'm trying to bring these guys sort of together because I do have 2 Runesmiths, and they are not nothing. So I'm trying to push them into a space here so I can consolidate and then choose what I'm going after. This guy has no more bolts left, and this guy's routing, so I'm like, what am I going to do? So I'm just going to get these guys consolidated, and then I thought, well, maybe I'll go after this guy and route him off. There's really not much. He's a good player. He's going to make sure every single unit is escorted off the edge of the map. And so I'm going to try and take the chance to at least route something of his, and we'll try and get rid of these guys because they do have ammo, and they can put some damage into me. So we will fast forward it. As I do route this guy, I'm going to go for this guy, try and get him routed. He's going to run away. So I'm like, well, where can I go? I'll try and route this guy again. So he's shattered. Now I'm going to try and go over here to pick off that Reaper Bolt Thrower. You know, he has good, healthy units of Reaper Bolt Throwers and Bleak Swords. But, you know, well, maybe. I just need one hit. So we're going to get over here, and he's just sort of positioning all his troops where he wants them and trying to pull me to where, you know, he can get all the rest of his troops sorted out. So away we go. I thought we were going to get to that fight. There we go. So the fight starts. So now I've got my Runesmith, and one of them, remember, does have the leadership rune. The Rune of Groth One-Eye. So no matter who we pick here, we do have that +8 leadership. So I just want to get some shots in, and I'm looking for Malekith because he is wavering. He's at 16 leadership. And now I think I could take most of these guys if I can just get a shot. So here he's coming in, so I actually charge. You see I charge Malekith right there? I just need one shot. Okay, so there he goes. He's got stand your ground for the leadership and the melee defense, and he's still got 152 health. So I take back, I'm shooting, fighting here. He comes back in. I'm going to charge him. There, I charge him. I just need one shot. One shot and I can get him. Doesn't mean I can beat the rest of these guys, but I'm trying to get him on the charge. Because he's just going to come in and cycle charge me to death, because I might be able to handle this with 2 Runesmiths. I mean, they got pretty good melee defense. So he's coming in. You can see how, well, he's faked it, and I'm just going to keep fighting. The Runesmith are starting to waver. I do have the leadership, but now I'm completely surrounded. I'm losing my health. I'm having army loss trouble, and he's coming in for one last go. And there it goes. We have the route going, and that is the end of the battle. So, a great fun battle, and you know, a really, really nice game by Hadries. He's a world-class player, like top 100. I've seen him in a lot of turns videos. You know, he's gonna crush me no matter what the matchup is. But I'm really happy with the way the game played out, because I played as good as I can play. But it was interesting to watch how he pulled me apart. So this is something that I'm really going to have to pay a lot more attention to in my own game, because I find that good players over and over, when I start playing against players that are really sort of in that top 200-ish, and especially players that are really, really strong, they just tend to slowly yank my army apart, and by the end of the match, I have dwarfs all over the map. Which is exactly what you don't want, because dwarfs don't have good mobility. So anyways, we'll go and take a look and see how the army performed. Only 10 kills with my Rune Lord, 48 with the Runesmiths, and 32, 33, 12, 16, and 19 with the miners. Not bad. I mean, for 325 gold, I'll take that. The Longbeards performed great, and they always do. 55, 11, 31, 65, and 78. Only 33 and 10 with the Iron Drakes. I really did not pay close enough attention to these guys, and these Dark Shards did their work on my Iron Drakes. They crushed my Iron Drakes. 32 and 52 with the Thunders. 46, 23, 11, and 42 with the Bolt Throwers. Again, I wish I had not even tried to target his Reaper Bolt Throwers at all, and just targeted his troops, his Witch Elves, even his Bleak Swords, right from the get-go, focused on Malekith. Like, I know he's going to eventually take out my Bolt Throwers, but he's going to be mostly out of ammo. And you can see, he took out my Bolt Throwers, but I got 46 kills, or what are we going to talk about, 120, and he ended up taking out my bolt throwers, but got sort of that, we're going to call it 40, 50 kills. So really, for the Dowie, I'm not so worried about his bolt throwers. I really wanted to get his Harganeth Executioners. And you can see his Harganeth Executioners, 56 and 110. I did use my Rune of Wrath and Rune to slow down Malekith, 223 kills. Malekith was an absolute beast in this matchup. You know, I probably should have just focused all my bolt throwers on him. You know, he would have been able to dodge them, I'm sure, but at least 2 on him nonstop. The Bleak Swords, 18, 17, 33, 49, and 31. 121 for these Witch Elves. Witch Elves are very, very good in this matchup. You know, surprisingly good. I know they don't have a lot of armor, but if you don't... Like, I don't have any Quarrelers in this build. Nothing that's really meant to take them out. The Iron Drakes would have done a good job. I was trying to get the Iron Drakes there, but Hadri's intercepted them with his Dark Shards with shields. And the Dark Shards, 51, 29, and 3, very well. And they killed my Lord and whittled down my Runesmiths, and only 6 with the Harpies, but really they're there as a distraction. So great, fun game. I thought the hardest matchup, I think the hardest matchup in the game for the Dowie is the Dark Elves. It's the hardest matchup for me personally, for sure. You know, and I'm, you know, for the difference in ability, I'm happy with the way I played, and I really liked to see how that my army was slowly pulled apart, which was, I think, instructive for myself to learn and get better, but even for anyone who's watching the game and thinking about how they play the Dwarves. I don't know. I mean, I'd love to hear from the comments. When you play the Dwarves, do you find sometimes you are pulled apart sort of in that manner? Because a few little tricks here were quite strong, where he was bringing the Bleak Swords into my Longbeards, and then he ran his Bleak Swords backwards once I charged, and he pulled my Longbeards out another 50 meters. But 50 meters creates a giant gap behind those Longbeards, and he did that a couple of times, and then I just thought it was very instructive. So I'd love to hear from you in how you deal with this sort of build, like when people try to pull you apart. What do? You just sit there and take the shots? You know, how do you manage that as the Dowie? And you know, how do you feel about this matchup? Comments. I love comments. I always ask for comments. It is my favorite part of doing this, is hearing from people in the comments. So I would like to hear from you. With that said, hope you found it interesting, and I will see you soon.